Hi and welcome to my channel. So the video you're watching is our tour of Mystic Caverns in Harrison, Arkansas. We went and toured the Mystic Caverns and the Crystal Dome. The guide right there, he was showing us where the original entrance was. You came in through the top. Now I'm shooting this footage on my GoPro, which is in a sealed case, so that's why you can't really hear any audio from the camera itself. So that's why I'm adding this dialogue to it, so that way you kind of can see or know what's going on. The issue I had was I had another camera that I was originally using, and it basically crapped out. It was too dark in there for my iPhone to really properly shoot footage. So I switched to this other GoPro that's inside the case because it is wet and crappy in there, and figured I'd just use it. So as you can see, it's really dark inside the cave right here. And apologize about that. But yeah, he's showing us the stalactites and the stalagmites and all that stuff. So if you want, you can just sit back, relax, and take a tour of the cave with me. So as you can see, he's now turning on lights. The lights, this is a show cave. It is a privately owned show cave. This originally was discovered 100-something years ago. I'll tell you a little bit more about the cave here. It at one time had a still inside of it. There is claims that Jesse James slept in the cave, of course, and our guide even told us that every cave claims that Jesse James slept in there. So that's nothing special, he said. This cave is huge, though. It's really big. It originally was owned by Dogpatch USA and was a cave associated with that. And then when Dogpatch USA fell into financial troubles, the person that currently owns it bought it from them in like 1986, I'd like to say. And they continue to do these tours and show off the cave. This is the second cave you go in. You start off in the Crystal Dome. I don't know where my footage for the Crystal Dome is, or I would show that to you. The Crystal Dome is basically like 170 feet underground, and it's just that one big room. It's really impressive. It's pretty cool, and you have to really walk a lot of stairs. But honestly, I kind of like the Mystic Caverns better, because there's a lot more things to see, a lot more walking around and everything. But since this cave is so old, there's a lot of things that are damaged and worn. And I'll tell you right now, they don't let you touch anything inside the cave. I so wanted to just touch every single thing. So it was really, really hard for me not to just touch everything. So the object right there to the left is what they call the pipe organ. It's gigantic. I mean, it's really big, and it's actually hollow inside. They said that you can come down from the top, and they can actually fit 2 full human bodies inside of it. That it's hollow. It's pretty cool, I guess. You know, that's always something neat. It'd be kind of cooler if you could actually do it yourself. But either way, the wall here was called popcorn or something like that. And like I said, our tour guide was really good. He was full of knowledge. He was very funny. I wish I was able to pick up his audio, but I didn't realize it until I loaded the footage later that I wasn't getting any of the audio at all through the waterproof case that I had the camera inside, because it is wet inside the cave. It'd been raining a lot in Arkansas at this point in time. Like a month or so before, the Crystal Dome had actually filled all the way up with water and you couldn't even go in it. This one, not as much, but it's very wet inside this cave. Now, this cave tour, it lasts a very long time. It's easily over an hour. So I'm going to be speeding up the footage from time to time, especially when we're just kind of walking from spot to spot. So that way this video isn't like a 50-minute video. One thing that they do in this cave is that you basically walk to spots in the cave. The pathway more or less is a big figure 8 of sorts. There's a lower part and there's an upper part and stuff like that, and you're going up and down the stairs. But yeah, you kind of go to a spot, they talk about the spot, and they tell you about it. This right here, that outcropping part, is a part of the ceiling that fell. They had to crawl up in there and put lights, of course, at some point, and that supposedly is where Jesse James slept or something like that. And again, they pretty much say that's probably not true at all. But again, it's really cool. They don't know when that fell. It fell, I mean, many, many, many years ago. Of course it did. He's showing us the growths of the cave. And if you don't know anything about caves, they basically are more or less like living things. They grow and everything. So this is one of the only caves where these weird stalagmites basically form giant flat pancakey looking things. And then there's these giant long ones that are usual, and those are all broken off. And he said that the reason those are broken off is people back in the day, when it originally was discovered and used as a tourist cave, they more or less just let you run around inside there, and you could break off pieces of the cave and do whatever you wanted. So that was something that he was showing us here. Our guide is showing us this little back section of the cave here, where there's like a shrouded area, and he explained to us that he's the smallest guy on their crew, so he's the one that gets to crawl into these back areas and replace the light bulbs when they burn out. But there's like a couple little areas back in here where it goes off into more caves, more or less, and they haven't really fully mapped it or explored it. And so it's a small area, so, you know, we kind of have to go in there one at a time. But there's this support pole there. Now, of course, if you've ever been in Arkansas or Missouri, you know, as a tourist, in all likelihood, you've probably already been to a cave. Arkansas and Missouri have like 1 million caves. I'm not even exaggerating. They have like 1 million of them. There's tons of ones that you can tour. You see signs for them constantly. Fantastic Caverns is one of the bigger ones. You can ride jeeps into it that are on like an electric track. I believe that's that one. There's the Merrimack Cave. That's the one that's famous for being on like painted on 100 different barns everywhere and things like that. I'd always heard of these two and the fact that they were associated with Dogpatch USA. we made sure we came through Harrison, Arkansas, just to see these two caves. And I'm kind of happy that we did, because they were really cool. So what he's showing us right there are the weird stalactites that don't actually grow points like they do in other ones. They flatten out because the water comes in so slowly into this cave. This cave, he explained to us, is considered a dormant cave. It isn't currently growing, and it hasn't been in some time. It just exists now, so nothing's changing in the cave or anything like that. It basically has stayed the same for quite a while, and it will stay the same for time to come, unless something drastic happens or something really changes. Now we've made our way into the lowest part of this cave. They actually made these two pools that are down here. And what you see in them, they're pennies and so forth. And they actually, the pennies and everything, after being in the cave water, because it's so acidic and everything, basically all markings on the pennies and stuff get eaten off. And then they sell them. They clean them out and they'll sell them as tourist things. My brother bought me one. I currently don't know where the heck I put it. But I hope I didn't already lose it. And it's really cool, you know, like it's a object that basically got eaten up sitting on the floor of a cave that somebody threw in. We didn't have any pennies to toss in, but this is the lowest part of the cave right here. And down in this area, which is basically where the still was at one time, they also used to put in a dance floor long ago, and would have dances and concerts and stuff like that in the bottom. And that's what those markings on the rock there to the left, that was to the left, that's where they would put the timber in to board it up. Now, every Christmas, they do a big Christmas thing inside the cave. I don't know what it is. I've never been to it. But in this area is where they put this, like where they kind of stage everything. And I think it's like a Christmas concert or something like that. And this is the area that they do it in. And because up above, you can actually see from down and stuff. I don't know how many people they shove into the thing or something, but yeah, if you're near Harrison, Arkansas during Christmas time, it's like Christmas Eve, I think they do it or something. I'm sure you can find it on their website. I would go to it. It would be kind of something cool to do. He's showing us this giant pillar, which is when a stalactite and a stalagmite meet, they become a pillar. This one at some point had gotten cracked and then healed itself. And then he was also showing some of the black markings up there on the ceiling, and that was because of the still back during the Prohibition days when they hid the still in the cave to make booze. And so that's what he was showing us right there. What he's telling us here is, I guess at some point this part of the cave was covered in a lot of mud and everything, and so when they cleared it out and they cleaned it all off, they discovered these cool formations that look kind of like gills here, and then there's Flowstone, I think it was called, and it's where basically it looks like white snow, more or less, and it's all lumpy and weird, and it's smooth as heck, and it just looks like a big river of it kind of flowing down into this area. And so, you know, that's what he's showing us right here. And then you can see more of the dark markings up there from the still back in the day, and that's what that is. And he said that they cleaned it off at some point, but that's the part that they weren't able to ever actually get to. So we're basically at the end of the cave now at this point. We've kind of made our way back up to the top part where we started, and we went right. And so he's just showing us some more of the formations and so forth. And I really wish I was able to pick up his audio. He was a great tour guide, and really was funny, and he told a lot of jokes, and they weren't like corny, stupid jokes either. And because nothing's worse than when a tour guide's lame like that or something. But it was really cool and fun. And so I would definitely say, if you're ever in Harrison, Arkansas, you know, go spend the I think it was $13 to go to both of the caves. Definitely do it. Also, do what we did. This is something that I always do whenever I'm in some place with a tour guide. Give the tour guide a tip. You know, we gave him $5. It's nothing. To us, it's three guys basically giving him $5. But I guarantee you, this guy's paid by the hour. He probably doesn't make that much. Kick him a couple bucks if you enjoyed his tour. So, again, like I say, if you're ever in Harrison, Arkansas, wanting something to do, I would definitely say go check out Mystic Caverns and the Crystal Dome. It's very cool. Right here is the upper part. This is the highest point. This is where we started out the tour, and we went down and to the right. So we're up here at the top now. So anyways, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, share it if you like it, and I'll keep on making more content. I have a lot of stuff from our recent road trip, and I'll be posting a lot of content. So thank you, and have a good evening, or a day.